to have the best pozole flavor and making sure that it's the most authentic flavor, real pozole, you're gonna need Pasilla Chile, Pasilla Ancho. You're gonna need 4 of those. You're gonna need Chile Guajillo, and then you're gonna need California chiles. So for the California and the Guajillo, you're gonna need 2 full bags of those chiles. And then for the Pasilla Ancho, you're gonna need just about 4 of those chiles. And of course, you have to devein them all and then let them soak in hot water for about 15 minutes until they get a little soft. So you're gonna wanna wear gloves because you're touching so many different chiles and you don't wanna like cross enchilarte, pretty much. You wanna take all the seeds out. As you can see, these chiles are really, really dry. And all we're doing now is opening them, taking this, the little seeds that they have out and letting them soak in with the rest of the chiles. You are going to boil the water, and once it's boiled, you're gonna completely shut off the heat and let your chiles soak in this water for 45 minutes to an hour. So boil it, turn it off, and then let your chiles marinate in the water. There is a lot that goes into a pozole. So I've already showed you what chiles and how to soak them and how to prepare them. Now I'm going to show you the different garnishes that you're going to need for your pozole. So you're going to need some radish. You're going to need some cabbage, some onion, some lemon. You can eat your pozole with some tostadas. And of course, every good pozole has to have hominy. So we are using a full can of hominy, tostadas to eat them on the side, and then these right here are going to be our garnishes. This is what you put on top of the pozole once it's already done. Lemon, onion, cabbage, and radish. Okay, this right here is by far the most important thing that you have to put in your pozole. I'm talking about a real Mexican, authentic, the way your grandma made them, tu abuelita, she got down in the kitchen with that bomb pozole. This is most likely what she had in there. It is so important. I'm not going to teach you an alternative way of how to make pozole because that's just disrespectful. You want to use the real things, okay? So let's get started. This right here is our favorite meat. It is so flavorful and tender once it's done. This is called pork neck bone, aka espinazo. We got 6 pounds of these bad boys because it's our favorite to use. Next, we have pork stew meat, or in other words, carne maciza. We have pork ears, oreja de puerco. And this right here is for flavor, okay? Yes, you can eat it, but it's definitely more for flavor. Then we have pork tongue, lengua de puerco. And we have pork feet, patitas de puerco. Again, all of these different meats really bring home that real, authentic pozole flavor. This is 6 pounds because we like that meat the most. However, everything else is about 1.5 pounds to 3 pounds. This right here is 3 pounds. Between these 3 right here, you just have about 1 pound, maybe 2 tops. So just depending on how many people you're feeding, you're gonna wanna gauge how much meat and depending on what your favorite meat is. But this is what you need for that bomb, real Mexican pozole. So in order for your meat not to necessarily smell, you're gonna wanna soak all of your meat in a big olla, in a big pot. You're also gonna squeeze in about 8 limes with the meat and let it soak for 1.5 hours. This is so that the smell of the meat can be removed. And of course, just soak it in with that lemon for the best flavor. Okay, so all of your meat that I just mentioned is soaking in water. As you can see, the water is all the way to the top, covering the meat. We squeezed in about 6 limes, and then we're leaving some of the wedges in there for extra flavor. Now, the reason why this step is so important is because, one, it takes away the pork smell from the meat and from your pozole, and it makes your meat tender. By doing this for an hour and a half, it makes your meat tender, so when you finally cook it, it literally falls off the bone. It has so much flavor. And next, we are gonna chop up some vegetables. All right, so now we have brought our big olla or pot with water to a boil, and we've included half of a full onion and a head of garlic. You're also gonna put a generous amount of the salt, which is gonna be about 3 tablespoons of salt. Meanwhile, you're gonna make sure that you rinse your meat. That means that you're gonna clean out your entire dishwashing area. You're gonna put them in the sink with regular water, and you're just gonna wash your meat. What you're looking out for, and why I have a little knife here, is because you need to clear up all the imperfections, especially around the ear. Sometimes it has like little hairs, so you do have to scrape that off. Also, as far as your ear and your tongue go, you're gonna cut it into smaller pieces. So you washed your meat, and the reason why it looks a little white or like discolored is because it bled out. It means all the blood came out of the meat so that we can get rid of that pork, like smell. And it kind of like tenderized it a little bit because of the lime that was in that water when you let it soak. Now, this part is very important. As far as your pig feet, you're gonna throw in your pig feet into the boiling water 30 minutes before you throw in the rest of the meat. The reason why we're doing that is because the pig feet has a lot like thicker skin and it takes longer to cook. So 30 minutes before we put the rest of the meat in, we're gonna go ahead and add the pig feet. I'll walk you through that. I just wanted to mention that before we move forward. Depending on how soupy you want your pozole to be, you want to have it a little more than halfway. We're going to do 3/4 of like the actual big olla because we like our pozole to be, very soupy. But as you can see, as soon as your water is boiling, you're going to want to throw in the pig feet. So the pig feet is already soaking in there with the rest of like the salt and the garlic and the half of onion. All right, so now for the fun part. Literally the base of your delicious pozole is gonna come from this sauce. So you're just gonna transfer the chiles that were already soaking in that same water onto your blender, and you're gonna dig up the whole head of the garlic, and you're gonna blend that all together. Blend it until it's like a super saucy consistency. You want to make sure you blend it for several minutes. I'll show you guys what this looks like at the end. All right, so it's been 30 minutes since we put the pig feet in the water. Now the rest of your meat goes into the pot. All of your meat is in the pot. You can add a little more water if you would like, depending on how soupy you want your pozole. Just keep in mind that we're still gonna add the can of hominy, so there needs to be some wiggle room. But all we've done is kind of like move the meat around so that it's all underwater. Okay, next we are gonna throw in the salsa, but there is one step that we need to do before we throw in the salsa. Let's go. All right, so we're still going at it, blending away the chunkier pieces of the chile. And as you can see, we're only trying to get the juice from the chiles that you blended. So all we did is we repurposed the chunkier pieces, which means we put it back in the blender. We added water from the pozole. That's the meat's already cooking in there. We added it to this little filter, and we're just filtering out as much as we can. There you go. All right, so once you've filtered out that lovely sauce, look at that. You're gonna throw it in the mix with all of your meat into the water, just like that. You wanna get every single piece of that sauce in there, and then just mix it all up. And for us, it's tradition to use this giant wooden spoon. You want to mix it all in. And that's all. Now that we've added the sauce, we're gonna let this sit here on a high heat for an hour and a half. Okay? We are gonna check on it periodically just to make sure we want the meat a certain like consistency and cooked. We don't want it too overcooked and we don't want it undercooked to where the meat is still a little too hard. So about in an hour and a half is when we're gonna add the hominy. All right, so you have your hominy here, or you, as you call it, maíz, and you're just gonna rinse it with water just to clean it. You're just gonna rinse it with water, and we're getting ready to throw it into the pot. Your pozole is smelling and looking delicious. Your whole house smells like pozole, and now we're getting ready to throw in the hominy. All right, so there goes in the hominy, which is the last and final step for the pozole. ¿Lo vas a batir? Y a ver, ¿cuánto tiempo vamos a dejar el pozole que se cosa? Ya que pusimos el maíz.
Ahorita testeado para que no se deshaga.
¿Cuánto tiempo?
Unos 40 minutos.
All right, so an additional 40 minutes once you've already put the maíz in. We're just gonna cover this up and let it do its thing. After 2.5 hours, what we have here is a pozole that is ready to be devoured. Let me try to get some of the hominy from the very bottom so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. Now that is some authentic pozole. All that's missing is to serve yourself a plate, add your garnishes, and enjoy. And I'm gonna do that next. All right, so we've cut up our onion, our radish, our cabbage, some limes on the side so we can squeeze on the pozole. Like I said, we're gonna eat this pozole with some tostadas, and we've just added a pinch of salt to the cabbage and a pinch of salt to the radish. We're all ready to go and serve our plates. All right, we are serving some of this delicious pozole, and of course a big Mexican plate, because that's how you do it. Just like that. A mí me gusta el juguito, a mí me gusta bien caldudo. Just like that, guys. Look at that beauty. Okay, now for the garnishes. So some repollo. Some radishes. I like a lot of onion all over right here. A little more for me. And next, some fresh lime. I'm gonna do about 2 of these. Así merito. Ooh, that one's hard. And there you have it. Qué rico, ¿verdad? Doesn't that look amazing? Now, the taste test, of course. All right, our pozole is ready. And after just about 3 hours, you deserve yourself a wonderful plate of pozole. So, I actually eat my pozole a very specific, certain way. I like my pozole bowl, which is this one right here, to have mostly hominy, very little meat, and I like to have it with all of the garnishes. You know, the fixing, which is the repollo, the radish, the onion, and a splash of lime on the side, or lemon. Now, I love the espinazo meat but I like to eat it outside of the pozole bowl. I like to eat that on the side. And the reason for that is because I love to splash some lemon on it, sprinkle it with a little bit of salt, and then add a salsa picante. This is equivalent to Valentina or Tapatio. So I like to eat my meat, my espinazo, outside of the pozole bowl. Now, everybody needs to learn how to make this dish, and I don't care if you make it in a crock pot, but this is the real authentic way. Every step I gave you is gonna make your pozole really taste next level. So this, to me, yo ya estoy lista para casarme, ladies and gentlemen. Like, this is the test. So girls, if you're looking to impress anybody, but especially a Latino Mexican man, you need to get down in the kitchen with one of these. And it goes the same for you guys, okay? If you want to impress, or you're dating a Latina Mexican girl, and come on, look at us, why wouldn't you want to? You need to learn how to make this dish, okay? This is gonna make your grandma proud. This is gonna make your in-laws proud, porque van a decir, ¿y ese pendejo qué sabe hacer? Like, oh, esa niña mocosa no sabe ni limpiarse el culo, you know? But if you get down with the pozole dish, you're in, guys. Done deal. All right, so let's get started because I am dying to taste this. What we're gonna do is add some of the lemon on the pozole. Bomb. And I'm really hungry, so I was thinking about using I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna use that spoon. Where's my regular spoon? Oh, ¿dónde la dejé? Oh, it's in here. Okay, first bite, right? So like I said, I have very little actual like meat in my pozole. I'm gonna grab a tostada de acá. The hominy is really tender. It tastes so great. The broth, even though it looks really red and dark, is not spicy. It has great flavor, but I would not call it spicy at all. The crunch of the cabbage, the crunch of the radish, get a spoonful of everything in there. So amazing. I love my pozole actually like boiling hot. So sometimes I like reheat it a couple times as I'm eating it, just depending on, you know, how hot it is. But I love a nice hot pozole. The meat is super, super tender. I mean, it should be, right? We let it cook in there for quite some time. It just melts. And the reason we soaked it in that water so that all the blood can just like release from the meat is because sometimes, and you know, like raise your hand, comment below if this has happened to you, but I've ate a pozole that tastes, it like smelled like pork. I know that's weird, but sometimes it just smells really, really strong and it kind of might gross you out. But that's why we wash the meat. Now, it's only right that you serve yourself a pozole in a huge bowl just like this. If you're Mexican, your grandma's bound to have one of these big old plates. They're ugly, but they do the job. You want to eat pozole, menudo. You want to have pozole, menudo, birria in plates like this. Now, so the pozole is delicious. We're going to move on to the espinazo. So again, lemon, a little bit of salt, just sprinkle enough, and some of this just like that. Okay. Disclaimer, this ain't gonna be cute. There's no cute way to eat espinazo or like this type of meat, okay? So no judgment. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. I love eating meat that's like on the bone like that. And it's messy because you gotta like eat around the bone to get to the good stuff. Also, going along when there's no cute way of eating this. Sorry, I'm slurping. All the juice from the pozole is up in there. So good. Mm. It's so delicious. The meat is super tender. It's literally falling off the bones. I like to eat it separately because I really do feel I get a better flavor, and I just enjoy eating the espinazo when it's outside of the bowl versus in there, because I like adding that lemon and that salt and a little bit of chile. And there's just certain foods that you eat with soda. For me, this is definitely one of them. I can't eat pozole with anything else than a Coca-Cola or like Sprite or a beer. So I'm enjoying some Sprite in here. So refreshing and goes great with my pozole and my meat. I'm really, really glad that I made this today, or that my brother-in-law and my sister made it and I helped by putting everything together. It's so delicious. It's a Mexican staple. I know it's lengthy. I know it's a little complicated to make, but if you do it the right way, you're gonna be a legend in your family. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, comment below. Comment below if you make it a different way, or if you're willing to try eating it the way I like to eat it, or if you've already done that before. Either way, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time.